Hey everybody! Okay, so yesterday was Juneteenth, so I'm filming this on the 20th, it's Saturday, and I honestly didn't really know anything about it. I honestly didn't. Kind of ashamed to say because I should have known things about it, but I think it's kind of like in the U.S., it's the same. They don't teach us the same amount of black history, I think, and I had never even really heard about it, so anyways, I learned about it. I went on YouTube and I searched and I found some videos and I learned what it was all about. I was afraid it wasn't really a celebration, and in a way it is. I mean, it's not really a celebration. They never really have won their freedom completely yet. That's why Black Lives Matter. And but it is still a day that they celebrate because it's progress towards the goal that they want. And that I'm definitely in support of. And so I decided that let me do a video on the best of the black hockey players, or if you want to say hockey players of color. I don't know. I'm not sure how to refer to it, but that's what I'm going to say. So it's the top 15 black hockey players of all time. And we're going to get right to it. Enough of me babbling and trying to, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but we're going to get right to it. So the number 15 guy, I had two possibilities here for who I would put in here. One was Chris Stewart, but I didn't put him here. I chose instead, and I'm leaning towards because he was a Hab. So that's going to be Donald Brashear. Donald Brashear played in Montreal. I'm not sure how many years. He was, I know it's not a great hockey player, but he was more of a tough guy. His numbers were. First of all, he played here from 1993 to 2010, or he played from 1993 to 2010, not here in Montreal. He was in 1,025 games, 85 goals, 120 assists for 205 points, but he also had 2,634 penalty minutes because Brashear was a bit of a tough guy who could play hockey. So number 15, Donald Brashear. Number 14, honestly, a player I don't know a lot about. And that's, I'm putting just last names. Whoops, it just slid all over. Kyla Posey. You know, I kind of always thought Okposo was a tough guy, and I don't know why I did. So he started in 2007. He's still playing in 800 games, 196 goals, 310 assists for 506 points. And his penalty numbers didn't really merit me putting them here, so I don't know why I always thought he was a bit of a tough guy. Played that kind of a game, but it doesn't seem like that. So Kyla Posey, number 14. Number 13, Wayne Simmons, however you want to pronounce it. Wayne Simmons. He was a guy that's, I think, been on Montreal's radar for a couple of years. They never have been able to work out getting him at the trade deadline, but he's a really good hockey player. Also, here's a guy that I wouldn't really say that I put up his penalty minutes, but I'm going to tell you them because he has more than I thought. In 909 games, 251 goals, 248 assists, so really nice, even numbers. I like that. 499 points, 1,123 penalty minutes. So that's in 909 games. So, I mean, you know, he's a rugged forward. He plays a tough game. Number 12 for the Ottawa. Plays in Ottawa for the Senators, and that's Anthony Duclair. Anthony Duclair. He's a guy that kind of had a troubled start. I think he needed to find the right team, and it looks like Ottawa's the right team for the guy. So Anthony Duclair started in 2014. He played 353 games, 79 goals, 83 assists for 162 points. He's really... He seems to have found a home in Ottawa, and I think he's the kind of guy. He's got a bunch of tools. He needs to learn how to bring them to the game. Every game, bring all the tools, and he'd do a lot better because he doesn't seem to have everything with him every time I've seen him play. So that's Anthony Duclair. Next up is an older player. Played with Chicago, amongst others, I think. Is Dirk Graham. Losing my voice, and I've got a live stream coming up. Okay, so Dirk Graham, from 1983 to 1995, he was the first black captain in the NHL. He captained the Chicago Blackhawks in 772 games, 219 goals, 270 assists for 489 points. And once again, I didn't know that he was a tough player. Not to say that he went out and looked for fights or anything like that, but 919 penalty minutes in 772 games. This is another rugged guy. Next up, at number 10, another guy who's playing right now. And in Edmonton, defenseman Darnell Nurse. I think he's a pretty good player. He's going to, he's, I thought he had better numbers, but he's going to be one of those solid, dependable defensemen. Started in 2014, 350 games, 29 goals, 92 assists for 121 points. So Darnell Nurse, kind of a guy I thought Montreal might try to trade for to get him out of, to fill that spot we've got that we need. I think I might have done a video where I had him as a possible target. Number 9 is another older guy, and he is the 5th black hockey player to play in the NHL. And that is a guy I really liked. He's one of those hard-nosed guys, and that's Tony McKegney. Let me see how it's actually spelled. So McKegney had played from 1978 to 1991, 912 games. I just ate something. 320 goals, 319 assists. So again, nice and even, and 639 points. Now, I always thought McKegney was a penalty guy. Got penalties. Not that he was mean or tough or dirty, but and he didn't have enough penalties to merit putting it there. So you never know. You get a surprise. At number 8, moving over to the next board and doing a spinorama, is a goalie. Played for a number of teams. I think the first place I saw him was Ottawa, and no, okay, it's fine. He passed away. I think it was last summer. He drowned in a tragic swimming accident. So that's Ray Emery. He had played in. He played from 2002 to 2015 in 287 NHL games, 145 wins, 86 losses, 28 shootout or overtime losses, a 270 goals against and a 906 save percentage, so decent to really good numbers. He played backup some years, and then he was in net. I don't know. I want to say, did he win the cup or he played in the Stanley Cup final? Anyway, he was a really good goalie, kind of along the lines of an Ed Belfour. And what I mean by that is Ed Belfour had this tendency to maybe off the ice to get in trouble and do some weird things. And I think that was kind of what Ray Emery was like. But he was a really good goalie, and I have him at number 8. Number 7 is a current player. He has just been, he's one of the members of that new, the HDA, I think it is. And, yeah, it's Evander Kane. Another guy who I think gets a bad, now I didn't really like him, but I think he gets a bad rap. With everything going on about the minorities and how they are treated and all that, and I wonder if a lot of Evander Kane's problems come from a little bit of that, because he's got, a ton of talent, kind of like somebody else I mentioned, was it Duclair? And he's got a ton of talent, and he doesn't seem to bring it every game, but he seems to sometimes do that, and I wonder if some of his problems, because I always thought he had a bit of a troubled history in the NHL, and I wonder if some of that is with, these racial problems that are going on. I really don't know, so I'm just putting that out there. Next up is former Montreal Canadian, was my favorite Hab when he was here. Defenseman, kind of, his, numbers and stuff are kind of going down, and I wonder if he has a lot of outside of hockey things going on, and I wonder if that's taken away a little bit of his focus on hockey. I've said it a few times that he might need to get a little bit more focused on hockey, but PK Subban was a great defenseman when he was here, Norris Trophy winner in a strikes or a lockout shortened season, yes, but really good defenseman. Montreal seemed to be the kind of town for him because he had a couple of decent seasons when he went to Nashville. I think the first season was a good one, but he slowly started to, numbers went downhill, and they're kind of ridiculously low now for a guy with that talent. He's got a lot of talent. He just needs to find the right team again and get himself focused back on hockey, I think. That's my opinion. Number 5, another current player, just came off the ER. I did that because I was going to point to something, and I don't know what I was going to point to. And that's, well, I'll write his whole name then. Seth Jones. Seth Jones is really going to be a great defenseman, I think. He is an integral part of that Columbus Blue Jackets team. Guy's got a ton of talent. 500. He's been playing since 2013. 524 games, 60 goals. I didn't give Subban's. Jeez. You know what? I didn't give stats for too many people. Well, since I missed Subban and Evander Kane stats, we're just not going to go backward. Seth Jones, 524 games, 60 goals, 198 assists, 258 points. Can you see I get a little bit nervous for the live stream? The live stream's coming up soon. So if anybody didn't think I get nervous for it, I do, and it's showing in this video. So anyway, I like to go without editing. So, okay, so that's 258 points. Seth Jones, a really great defenseman, is going to be hopefully around a long time. And yeah, Columbus Blue Jackets, I don't know, they really need this guy around because they're kind of a team, you know, they don't have that superstar, and you need everybody. And when you got a guy like Seth Jones who was injured, when he's out, you really feel it. Next up is another defenseman, but he can play forward, and I think he has played. And right now, kind of rumored maybe to become, well, the Montreal might be interested in acquiring him, but I don't know if he's retired or not, so that's Dustin Byfuglien. What a weird way to spell his name. Byfuglien. So Dustin Byfuglien, great hockey player, big guy. He's listed as from 2005 to present, because we don't know if he's retired or not, really. 869 games, 177 goals, 348 assists for 525 points, 1,094 penalty minutes. Tough guy, not overly, but and big and like hitting a brick wall from what I understand. So Dustin Byfuglien, number 4. Next up, great goalie, really great goalie. Although if you look at his numbers, and that's Grant Fuhr, by the way. If you look at his overall, goals against and save percentage and all that, not great. But you have to remember he played most of his games with a team in front of him that was all offense and no defense. And I'm sure that affected his numbers. So I'll give them to you. From 1981 to 2000, 868 games. That's a ton of games for a goalie. 403 wins, 295 losses, and 114. Now, I don't know if that's some ties, some shootout and overtime losses. I don't really know. Didn't seem to separate them, and I think he would have some ties in there. He played a long time. In 1981, I think there's ties there. So he had a 338 goals against and an 887 save percentage, which really, for a starting goalie who played so many games, had so many wins, it doesn't match, right? It doesn't. But that team in front of him was all offense. If they gave up a goal, they just went out and scored another one. And that's how it really was there. So Grant Fuhr, a really great goalie, especially in my day in like the 90s, late in the 90s with some of the video games. Grant Fuhr was really good. I guess it was the EA, NHL, whatever year it was. Grant Fuhr was really good. Number 2. Number 2 should probably be number 1, but number 1, there's a special reason. So number 2 is, and definitely talent-wise and all that, the greatest player right here is Jarome Iginla. I mean, Jarome Iginla is just a great player, a great guy, which hockey players, most of them are, although we're discovering maybe not. But Jarome Iginla, great guy. From 1995 to 2017, 1,554 games played. That's amazing. 625 goals, 675 assists for an even 1,300 points, and 1,040 penalty minutes. It's not a penalty like a penalty or a minute even a game, but that's a lot more than you would think from a guy with that talent. But he was a tough guy. He could handle himself, and a great hockey player. So now the reason the number 1, I said that about the number 1, because he only played 45 games in the NHL with 4 goals and 10 assists for 14 points. But what made him the number 1 on my list here And considering that we're doing this for, well, I'm doing this to celebrate Juneteenth, I think he definitely has to be the number one, and that is Willie OReilly. Willie OReilly. He is the Jackie Robinson of hockey. He was the first black hockey player. He played, like I said, over 2 seasons. He played 45 games for the Bruins, 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points. Now, so you say, well, that's not really enough to say he's the greatest, and that's fine, but it's for what he went through, what he had to overcome just to play in the NHL, keep his temper, I imagine. It must have been amazingly hard for this guy to do that, but he also played in the WHA, and he played in 785 games there with 328 goals, 311 assists for 639 points, and 669 penalty minutes. So he was also a tough guy, that he could handle himself, and he was a good hockey player. So Willie OReilly, who should have played a lot more in the NHL and never got the chance to play more, but he was the first black hockey player deserving of number one. And there you go. I think it's this was fun doing this video, and it was fun in a way. Only I say fun. I feel weird using that word, but I'm glad I got the opportunity to learn something new that I didn't really know even existed. I swear I didn't even know this existed, and I learned something new, and there's nothing wrong with that. So there you go. That's my list of the top 15 black hockey players to have played in the NHL. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And while you're on the way down there to do that, you can leave me any comments you might have about this, anybody on the list, because there are other guys that I went through the list and I thought these were the 15 best for me, and you might find that there's other guys that you've seen and I didn't really, maybe I never saw them enough, so I didn't really know. Let me know who you would maybe take off this list and who you might put on this list, and do that in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and ring the notifications bell that's down there, and that'll get you your daily fix of Blue, Blanc, Rouge. So just say Black Lives Matter, hashtag Black Lives Matter. I'm definitely behind all of that stuff, 100%. Being a white guy, I mean, I sometimes don't know how to show it and don't know what to say, so I hope I hope my words were okay here, but I really thought this was a great idea. Some of these are great hockey players. Some of them were my favorite. PK Subban, my favorite when he was playing here. And yeah, just lots of good hockey that they gave us to watch, and we can celebrate them. So I guess that's it. So thanks for watching the video. Please stay safe out there. Wear a mask. If I say you should wear a mask when you're out in public. I just got a really bad comment saying, "Why am I doing that? Do I blah 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 blah?" Someone who doesn't believe it, and but I do. Wear the mask when you're close to people and you can't get a distance. And yeah, stay safe. So that's it. I guess that's it. Peace out, and I'll see you next video. It's about an hour, a little over an hour before the live stream. I'm going to try to get this up before the live stream. So, peace out. Bye, y'all. See you next video. See you on the live stream.